lot of us love taking walks to brainstorm ideas, reflect on the day's happenings, or just go for a walk because we feel like it. Thomas De Quincey has calculated that William Wordsworth, whose poetry is based on human relationship with nature, walked as many as 180,000 miles in his lifetime, which comes to an average of 6.5 miles a day, starting from age 5. So what is it about walking, in particular, that makes it so pursuable to thinking and writing? Let's find out. The answer to this question has a couple of factors to it, so make sure you stick around till the end of this video. When we walk, our hearts pump faster, circulating more blood and oxygen, not just to the muscles, but to all the organs, including the brain. There are several studies already confirming those who exercise regularly, even mild exertion, perform better on tests of memory and attention. But walking is a bit different from them. Walking is a low-impact aerobic exercise. Walking stimulates the growth of new neurons and promotes new connections in the brain. It is known to increase the volume of the hippocampus, the region crucial for learning and memory, and also gray matter, which are responsible for muscle control, basic sensory perception, memory, decision-making, and self-control. The way we move our bodies changes our thoughts and vice versa. Psychologists who specialize in exercise music have quantified what we already know. Listening to songs with high tempo during our runs motivates us to run fast. Interestingly, when drivers hear loud, fast music, they unconsciously step a bit harder on the gas pedal too. Walking at our own pace creates this unfiltered feedback loop between the rhythm of our bodies and our mental state that we can't really experience by jogging on the treadmill in the gym or by driving a car. When we go for a walk, the pace at which we walk fluctuates the mood we are in and our internal speech in our minds. So, we can actively change the pace of our thoughts by just changing the pace at which we walk. Jack Dorsey, the CEO of Twitter and Square Inc., walks to the office 3 times a week, which takes him an hour and 15 minutes. According to him, he uses the time to think and listen to the Wim Hof podcast. Because we don't have to devote much conscious effort to the act of walking, our attention is free to wander. In 2014, Marilee Opezzo and Daniel Schwartz of Stanford published a study that directly measured the way walking changes creativity in the moment. They asked 176 college students to complete different tests of creative thinking while either sitting, walking on a treadmill, or slow walking through the Stanford campus. In one test, for example, volunteers had to come up with novel uses for everyday objects such as a button or a tire. On average, the students thought of between 4 and 6 more novel uses of the objects while they were walking than they were seated. Another experiment required volunteers to take a metaphor, such as a budding cocoon, and generate a unique but equivalent metaphor, such as an egg hatching. 95% of students who went for a walk were able to do so, compared to only 50% of those who never stood up. But walking actually worsened people's performance on a different type of test, in which students had to find the one word that united a set of 3. For example, cheese, which could be used with cottage, cream, and cake. Since walking sets the mind on a sea of thoughts, walking is considered counterproductive for tasks that require laser-focused thinking. Where we walk matters a lot as well. In a study led by Mark Berman of the University of South Carolina, concluded students who took slow walks in some kind of botanical garden or parks with trees scored better in memory tests than those who walked along city streets. There are many other studies that say walking in green spaces rejuvenates the mental resources that man-made environments deplete. Various studies also show that attention is a limited resource and is drained throughout the day, depending on the activities we engage in. Walking through a crowded intersection demands more of it, as there are so many things to focus on. But walking past a pond in the park allows our mind to drift casually from one sensory experience to another. If we are mentally overstimulated, walking in nature seems like a better option to slow our thought flow. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel for more content like this. Thanks for watching and you have a good one.